I'm David Zokaitis, and I'm talking about political problems that people would rather ignore. I'm talking about apparent corruption in Sioux Falls, and I know this is a county meeting, but the problems that I see in Sioux Falls are endemic to our culture at large, so I thought I'd bring you up to speed. Now, my target audience is the citizens of Sioux Falls, but, you know, y'all are citizens too, so it's part of my target audience. One of the biggest, perhaps the biggest problem in America today is expensive elections. Because when you have expensive elections, then politicians have to spend all their time and effort looking for campaign donations. Then they have to work for rich donors, and the Constitution doesn't become so important, and the rights of regular people, they're not important. What counts is serving your campaign donors, particularly on a national scale. There was a change in Sioux Falls recently, maybe you heard about it, it makes elections more expensive for city council members. It used to be that a plurality was sufficient. Now you have to have a majority to get an election. And the problem with that is it encourages more runoff elections, and with a runoff, you don't have as much time, so you need more advertising money, and well, that's a way to favor wealth in your elections. In Sioux Falls, there are problems with police violating civil rights. Last year, a woman was arrested for letting her husky play out in the snow, which is kind of like being arrested for letting your kids play on the swing. If the police give you a warning ticket that's false and you want to protest it, this happened to me personally, then the city will generally say that's okay with the police committing perjury, and they wanted to issue a warrant for my arrest when I wanted to charge an officer with perjury for writing a false warning ticket. Definitely some problems there. And the city of Sioux Falls also condones assault by police. If you are subjected to fear of imminent bodily damage by police, if you are detained without suspicion, hey, that's quite all right. Again, this is a matter of personal experience. I think there's a problem. There's also issues with illegal police secrecy in Sioux Falls, probably in the county too, maybe the state level. But the U.S. District Court has ruled that you have the right to record police. Well, I was threatened with arrest in Sioux Falls for trying to watch a couple of police do not very much at all. You got to wonder what the heck these people are trying to hide. Our criminal justice system has quite a few problems, one of which is it's really hard to testify for the defense. I wrote a letter to the police department, another letter to the state's attorney, and said, hey, I want to testify for this case. No response. Called the clerk of courts, got the runaround. How the heck do you testify if nobody's going to let you? And then there's problems with losing track of unpopular complaints, and we've got issues there. The plea bargain system that is in common use here in the States is a good way to avoid the right to trial. What you do is you make a great mesh of overlapping laws so that one offense is actually multiple, and then you can pressure people into plea bargaining so that they don't bother having to go through an expensive trial. How do you have trials if you can't afford it? Not a good plan. The jails have issues because we've got insufficient career training, we have too much recidivism, and what we need to do really is to change the overall perspective. We're focusing too much on punishment and not enough on healing and education. Secrecy, we've got huge problems in secrecy with the Sioux Falls government. There's quite a stack of secret issues there, and well, you know, when you do things in secret, it looks really suspicious. Good way to hide corrupt dealings. We've got unconstitutional laws in the city. There's just a few right there. City Ordinance 117 allows police to take your license for any good cause. I mean, it's hard to beat that for being unconstitutional. And there's this big deal about a TIF here in Sioux Falls. A lot of secrecy, a lot of hidden transfers of money. Looks really suspicious. I'm running low on time. Ambulance service got some problems there too. Oh my gosh, new administration building. looks like we're trying to reward a builder because there were cheaper options that were not utilized. We need to change things, obviously. All right, now I like to end my presentations with a little slide about enjoying beauty, and here's a shot in Sioux Falls. It's pretty. But in this time, I decided that, hey, people do some pretty things too. And here's a picture of my car, and there's my license plate, which I think is really cool. And with that, have a good morning, everybody.